Greetings and welcome to Gabe Talks. In today's video, we are going to break down the narrative differences between the original Final Fantasy VII and the recent remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is part 2 of an ongoing trilogy covering the original installment. In this part, we will be covering the Chocobo Ranch and the Midgardsormr. I think I pronounced it right. Did I pronounce it right? Who cares? Before we get into it, let's quickly recap what happened before this point for both games. After escaping Midgard, Cloud and friends regrouped at Kalm, where Cloud shared his tragic backstory involving Sephiroth. After that's done, you can explore Kalm at your leisure, but this is where Rebirth and the original take different paths. In the original, you can leave whenever you want, while in Rebirth the gang was forced to leave because Shinra came looking for them. If you want to know more about what happened, check out my other videos. Now let's pick up where we last left off. In Rebirth, Cloud and friends had just escaped Kalm, and are now free to explore the open world. Also a quick note, this is the first time Red 13 is playable in combat. In the old game, Red was playable the moment he escaped his container on Midgard. Anyways, the guy who helped them escape Kalm, Broden, told them that they could meet some allies at a farm. This doesn't happen in the original. In that version, just before you leave Kalm, an NPC will tell you that he saw Sephiroth heading east, indicating to the player that's where they should go. Nothing much happens in the journey to the marshes and the Chocobo Ranch, outside of random encounters. In Rebirth, they add a little bit more filler, story. The gang goes to the farm per Broden's instructions. The farmer in charge tells them that they're safe, but not for long, and that they'd be safer at the swamp. After you leave the farm, you can encounter an old pervert named Bill. He was the guy who gave the gang a ride to Kalm after they had just escaped Midgard. In the original, you don't encounter Bill until you reach the Chocobo Ranch. Back to Rebirth. Cloud asks Bill where they can hide, and Bill took it as if Cloud's asking where he could spend some alone time with the girls. Bill, you pervert! What do you think Cloud was implying? That he was going to have a threesome with the girls? Are Barry and Red going to watch? You disgust me. Besides, Aerith and Tifa aren't that kind of girls. I know that because I asked. So the game gives you not so subtle hints that you should be heading to the swamp. In the original, it is considered a marsh. If you try crossing the marshes, you'll quickly encounter the Midgardsormr, known as the Midgardsormr in this version due to a translation error. This creature will quickly decimate you and your party, leaving you no choice but to figure out another way to cross a marsh. If you're playing the PS4 port like I am, you can have unlimited HP and MP, plus you'll always have the limit break fully charged. That being said, the giant snake will still destroy your party with an ultra OP attack named Beta. I don't know if the Midgardsormr can be killed later on in the game, since I solely focus on the game's narrative, but if he can be, let me know in the comments. Back to Rebirth. The gang arrive at an abandoned dock. They're trying to figure out a way to cross the water. They think about using a boat, but the boats there are currently rotting and are unsafe. Barrett suggests swimming until Tifa notices a sign that says the Midgardsormr is roaming the waters. Aerith reads out another sign that says that if you want to cross the waters, you need a chocobo. Tifa and Aerith adorably ask Cloud if they can rent one.
Well, can we rent some birds? Can we?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. What's this feeling in my pants? So this game won't let you even attempt to cross it like you did in the original. There's a reason for that, but we'll get to it later. Now we arrive at the Chocobo Ranch. In Rebirth, you are greeted by Bill, who had just finished fixing his truck and has now arrived at the ranch. He gives you a lowdown on how chocobos float, and tells the party that they can rent one with his grandson Billy. In the original, Bill is inside his house, a house you can't go inside of in Rebirth. In that version, Bill explains to you how you could cross the marshes using a chocobo, which will help you evade the Midgardsormr, and that they can buy, not rent, a chocobo from his grandson Billy. One other thing, when you first enter the ranch, you can interact with the chocobos. They'll show you an adorable little dance and then give you a summon materia. This dance can't be triggered in Rebirth. Where's my dance, Rebirth? Where's my freaking dance? After these interactions, you could go inside the ranch and talk to Billy. In the original, he says that the chocobos that he has are spoken for, but he does give you instructions on how to catch one and then sells you a lure for 2,000 gil? What the fuck? Does it look like I'm made out of money, you stupid brat? And you're going to have to fork over that dough because it's the only way to catch a chocobo at this point. This plays out differently in Rebirth. When you talk to Billy, he also says the chocobos he has are spoken for, but he could sell them to the party for 10,000 grand each? Okay, I'm about to start throwing hands at this kid!
Hey, relax, son.
Fortunately, Aerith tells Billy that they don't have that kind of money. He then offers us another way to help by...
Only cost you $1,000.
You son of a bitch! Someone hold my tooth!
Oh, nah, fuck this. I'm handling this shit like gentlemen. Yo, hold my tooth, son.
Is what a scoundrel might say. But I wouldn't dream of distressing y'all further.
Oh, can someone help me find my tooth? So Billy tasks them to find a wild chocobo named Pico. If they catch him, Billy will help them out. After talking to Billy's sister, where she shared something that isn't relevant to the main story, she gives you some greens to give to Pico. The way you catch a chocobo is different in each game. In the original, you have to equip your chocobo lure in your materia slot. Then you have to look for chocobo footprints in the overworld. Keep walking around until you trigger a random encounter, and hope you run into a chocobo. Here comes the challenging bit. You have to feed the chocobo greens, purchased by that swindler Billy, and hope it doesn't run away from you while you defeat all the monsters. The whole process was super tedious, which makes me glad that Rebirth didn't take this approach. In Rebirth, it's a simple stealth mission. Sneak past the sentry chocobos, and then tiptoe to Pico's back, and you got him. As simple as that. Once you find some greens, Pico will go back to the ranch, as will Cloud. The swindler Billy will give you a quick tutorial on how to ride a chocobo, and there you go. You have an adorable bird companion. Let's finish talking about what happened in the original for this section. Once you have your chocobo, you can outrun the Midgardsormr. After crossing the marshes, you can see the impaled corpse of a Midgardsormr that was killed by Sephiroth. At this point in the original game, we have yet to see Sephiroth, flashbacks excluded. The scene is meant to build up Sephiroth as a grave threat, and showcase how he is ridiculously powerful, since in the game, Cloud and his party couldn't even defeat the Midgardsormr. After that scene, the gang goes into the Mithril mines. Obviously, Rebirth takes a different approach to this scene. The swamp area is a lot more detailed and explorable than the marshes were in the original. In terms of story, as the gang is crossing through the swamp, Cloud imagines one of the mysterious cloaked figures as Sephiroth. They follow the direction the cloaked figure is facing until they stumble upon a small island. Only it's not an island, it's the Midgardsormr. The gang battle the giant freaking snake until they briefly stun it. When they thought it was gone, the snake reemerges and drags Cloud into the deep waters. The Midgardsormr was about to finish off Cloud, but then Sephiroth appears. He easily launches a giant snake out of the water and impales it into a tree. Cloud and Sephiroth look at each other before the latter disappears and Cloud passes out. Quick tangent, how the hell does Cloud keep his hair so spiky underwater? Anime protagonists, I swear. After Cloud regains consciousness and basks at Sephiroth's power, they see a group of cloaked figures like the one guy they saw earlier, and they deduce that they must be following Sephiroth, and so they follow them into the Mithril mines. And that's it for this chapter. Thanks for sticking till the end. Now that you've seen both versions of the impaled Midgardsormr, which do you like more? The off-screen impalement from the original, or getting to see how Sephiroth dispatches the Midgardsormr? Both are effective, but I'd like to see what you guys think in the comments. And also let me know if you wanted to strangle Billy in the original. I sure as hell wanted to. For the next part of this video series, I will talk about the Mithril mines, so be sure to like and subscribe if you want to keep up. In case you've missed it, I've already covered the Nibelheim incident and Calm, so feel free to check those out as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you all later.